Witness, is this true? Do you understand English?
Yes, a little only.
What?
First he could see, now he can talk. And you did not know about this Lemera.
No, I did not. It is quite a surprise.
How many secrets is Witness hiding? Did he also kill someone?
Last. This is last.
Machi, could you tell us what really happened?
No shooting. I did no shooting.
So you weren't in the dressing room when I heard those 2 gunshots, correct? Apparently the answer to that question isn't simple either.
I was in dressing room behind desk. Manager, he on floor.
Which would be after the shooting, right?
Then there is voice.
Voice of voices? Was it you and Emma, Apollo?
So when Machi went to the dressing room, Mr. Latus had already been shot. And then we came to the door.
Panel high up. I take off. Run away. Run away.
So it was you escaped to that air vent. As the prosecution has held all along, no less. The defendant has admitted to being at the scene. Might we take this as a confession? No! He clearly denied that he did it!
I know shooting. Manager on floor. Already on floor.
The victim has already been shot, you say? I find that hard to believe. The defendant understood the song lyrics. He was at the scene of the crime. This can only mean one thing. He is the shooter.
Does the defendant have anything to say to this?
He's clammed up, Apollo.
Then let's ask Mr. Justice. Will you require any further testimony from the witness?
Is that it? Is there nothing else I can get him to testify about? Wait. No, of course there is.
What is this cocoon, anyway?
Ta cocoon, ici qui est potent cure.
A cure? Well, Machi, are you a smuggler? J'ai bien l'argent? Ouais, c'est déjà mon genre!
He won't tell me.
That cocoon has to have something to do with this. Machi, please, tell us the truth, for your own sake.
No must speak, not to any of you.
So much for your precious trust, Hair Forehead. Hey, you were the one who didn't believe him. Regardless, this brings us to an impasse.
It does seem that the defense and defendant are at odds. I doubt we are likely to learn anything more of value should this continue. I see no other course but to declare a 5-minute recess. The defense will work things out with the defendant so that we might proceed.
District Court, 11:23 a.m. Defendant lobby number 2.
Apollo Eustace.
That's justice. Better learn how to say it if you ever want to get some justice, not my justice. This is the abstract concept of justice.
Believe a new shooting.
Machi claims Mr. Latus was already down on the ground when he entered the room.
Maybe it was a trap and he walked right into it.
Suddenly, I hear revolver close, very close. Then, I hear voice.
You heard gunshots?
Yes, it's true. I hear revolver, but only sound.
Wait, you're saying you went into the dressing room and found Mr. Latus already dead, and then you heard shots? If that's true...
So,
You were at the scene of the crime when you heard those shots?
And you escaped through the air vent.
I know. Huh? What do you know? I know if I opening vent, I can leave stage on backstage.
So the vents went to both the stage and the backstage area. Is that what he means? I don't understand. This is weird. Hey, he's right. Look.
Hey, he's right. Look, Apollo.
Huh? Oh yeah, vents. They go all the way under there for some reason. But how did you know it was connected like that?
Wait, I bet his father was the architect that designed the hall or something, right? That's a reasonable thing to assume. I hear this from magician.
Ah, that's how you did a magic! You went from backstage to the other point because they went through air vents. Magician. Ah, we're gonna unveil a trick, and he's not gonna be happy about it.
Don't look at me.
A magician, huh? Not Trucy.
Well, at least we're clear on one thing. Machi didn't shoot Mr. Latouche.
Yeah, but what does that leave us with? We're supposed to say he went into the room to find the body, and then he heard the shots. That one's gonna go over well in court. Not.
Apollo, you're his defense. You're supposed to believe whatever he says, even lies. That's what Daddy always told me.
I'll just pretend you misheard him every time he said it. So, what do we do?
You're sure you won't testify, Machi? No talking, no. Well, it was worth a shot.
That cocoon.
I can't go home. Can't go home? I can't go home to Virginia. I do not want to go home. The penalty for taking a cocoon from Virginia is death.
That's right, it's punishable by death, or worse. Of course he's scared. Oh well, I guess we'll just have to try a different approach.
That's the spirit, Apollo. So what's your plan? Entrapment?
If Machi won't testify about it, we'll have to get someone else to testify.
Someone else?
I think we're out of time. Let's get back in there.
Right.
Alright, well, we don't know what's gonna happen, but I guess we're going on. What's worse than death? Double death.
Court is now back in session. Mr. Justice, have you sorted things out with the defendant?
Yes, Your Honor. We had a good talk.
Very well. Still, will he testify?
Your Honor, the defendant will not testify.
What?
Shame. And here I thought this was your big chance to turn the case around. Actually, it is. The defense would like to approach this case from a different angle, Your Honor.
A different angle?
If Machi won't testify, then I know who will. I would like to cross-examine the witness in this case, Lemoir.
Lemoir?
What are you up to now? I thought we determined yesterday that Lemoir's testimony was insubstantial. There's nothing you can... Lemoir was taken to the hospital yesterday with injuries.
What happened?
She was assaulted, Your Honor.
Assaulted? Did she didn't have enough flavor, so they put more salt on her?
Someone wanted Lemoir dead.
Who?
Thankfully, she was able to save herself.
What?
I've heard no such report. Prosecutor Gavin?
Huh?
Why would anyone be out to kill Lemoir? Can you think of any reason?
Well,
think of how she is known in our country. A singer from overseas who doesn't speak English, yes? Yet someone tried to keep her mouth shut. Who could that have been?
You don't think?
I do. It was the same person who shot Mr. Latouche. The killer was afraid of her, afraid of what she might say. The defense believes that something was hidden in her testimony yesterday. Something that the killer doesn't want getting out. And I suggest we get it out. So, am I to understand that this is what you are saying? Namely, that there is a nugget of truth in Lemuel's testimony? A nugget we have yet to uncover? Exactly.
If Lemuel was attacked, this has serious implications. Very well. There were some vague points in her testimony during yesterday's trial. Perhaps we did not inquire as deeply as we might have into some. The court will hear Lemuel's testimony once more.
Alright, let's see what the secret is. Lemuel, I must apologize. We must ask you to stand again and speak.
You need not apologize. I know that Machi is innocent, and I will do all that I can until the court realizes this.
Let's review your testimony from yesterday. You told us you heard 2 gunshots and the shooter's voice through the window, and that the voice belonged to Darian Crescend, yes?
That is correct.
At which point I proved she could not be correct. She couldn't have heard any of those things. The small window at the scene was closed and was found to be quite soundproof.
You have nothing to say to that, Mr. Justice?
I don't know exactly what yet, but I do know there's something there. There is, it seems, much you do not know.
And yet it is my duty to hear him out. Perhaps the witness will be so kind as to testify once more to the court.
Of course, Your Honor.
What I heard.
I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. That's when I heard them, Monsieur Latouche and the detective. I heard the faint sound of a gunshot and stopped. Then I heard another gunshot. There was the smell of gunpowder. I knew I must tell someone, but I was in a hurry, so I kept moving past the small window.
Pretty much the same as yesterday's testimony.
I am sorry. I am not used to speaking much in this language. Perhaps my descriptions are lacking in some way. Yet everything I have said here is the truth.
It is my distinct displeasure to say this. What you have said to have happened is impossible. Do I have to repeat myself? Lemuel was attacked because of this testimony. Huh? What? Trucy, what? What are you looking at? What are you looking at me like that for? You hungry? Do I need to give you some goldfish? Just
Apollo, you know, for a moment there, you were pretty cool.
maybe I do better when I don't try to think ahead.
Very well, Mr. Justice. Perhaps you can coolly cross-examine the witness.
Alright, what I heard. Yeah, the gunpowder is definitely new. And it's very specific. I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit.
Is something wrong?
I raised an objection, but she's saying the same thing she said before.
Mr. Justice?
Sorry, it's nothing. Please continue with your testimony.
Now I know what they mean about the reckless youth these days.
Savannah Red over there is a shining example here, Judge. He's so young, so stupid. Spends all his time playing Pokemon Go in the courtroom instead of actually paying attention to what's going on. You're the last person who should be pointing fingers, Mr. Rockstar.
That's when I heard them, Monsieur Latouche and the detective.
Is he gonna do that? Anytime something's different? Darian Crescend?
I did not know his name at the time. But yes, it was him, the one who took the stand yesterday.
How many times do I need to remind you? That's impossible. There is no way you could have heard him. Because the window at the scene was closed? Is that why? Of course.
Apollo, if we keep asking the same questions as yesterday, we won't get anywhere.
she's right. Maybe there's a different angle I can try? What were they talking about? Did you hear anything else? No need. Let's ask. Were they saying anything specific? Lamora, do you by any chance remember what they were saying to each other? If so, please tell us.
I have given it much reflection, but
I was afraid of this. She doesn't remember.
I only heard one phrase clearly.
A whole phrase? Tell us the phrase! You remember something was said? Stuff was said? Why didn't you say anything yesterday?
So my memory is clear. I was afraid to speak. You see, I do not understand what was said.
This could be it. The clue I've been waiting for. Alright. What did she say? What did he say?
It was the other man speaking, not Monsieur Letouce.
The shooter then. Darian Crescend.
Well, what did he say?
It's over. Press this switch now.
Switch? And the shooter said this is the victim, Mr. Letouce?
I thought it quite strange myself afterward.
It is a mystery. What could it possibly mean?
Is there a secret passageway, Scooby-Doo style? And then like everything spun around?
Mr. Justice, care to shed some light on this?
I mean, sure. It's, very, very vital. Maybe we could add that to the testimony so that I can press it further and stall for time while I try to figure out what any of this is about.
Maybe, Apollo? Maybe?
From the small window, I heard a voice say, "Press the switch now."
And it was Detective Darian Crescend's voice.
Yes, I'm sure of it.
It's over. Press the switch. Why would he say that to Mr. Letouce?
Apollo! The murder weapon, the revolver, was Mr. Letouce's, right?
Yeah, what of it?
Well, maybe when he said, press the switch, he really meant to say, pull the trigger. Because his English isn't so good.
Darian's English should be very good. Darian Crescend's a native speaker.
Oh, right, sorry. I kind of forgot who was what. And there's so many people with weird accents. It would be very hard for someone who was trying to voice all of them to keep switching between and do the right ones. So I hope no one has to do that.
Press the switch. That's not something a killer usually says to his or her victim, is it?
Was there no one else in the room?
I do not know. All I heard was Monsieur Letouce and the detective.
I heard the
faint sound of a gunshot and stopped. Then I heard another gunshot.
There were 2 gunshots.
Yes, I heard 2, one after the other.
That fits with the bullet holes at the scene. Nothing really new here to pick up.
There was the smell of gunpowder. I knew I must tell someone, but...
Alright, so the gunpowder smell is important. Why did you tell someone immediately?
Well,
If it were me, I would have gone to the police right away. I do all the time for anything that happens. I hear a weird noise, I go to the police. I leave my TV on too long, I go to the police. I step out of the shower and I can't find my towel, I go to the police. The police have told me to stop, but I keep doing it anyway because of justice. It's our duty as citizens.
This may be besides the point, but Lamora isn't a citizen. So one would hope such common sense prevails in Virginia as well.
Lamora seems awfully quiet all of a sudden.
That's strange. Could she be hiding something?
it is as you say, yet at the time, I was in a hurry, so I kept moving past the small window.
You were in a hurry. To go where?
I was on my way to the backstage exit, as I have said.
Why are you in such a hurry then?
Well, I don't think that has anything to do with this case.
It very well might. Please answer the question. Are you alright, Lamora?
Yes, I'm just tired.
Recall what I told you yesterday, Herr Forehead. Lamora suffers from serious amnesia. please refrain from traumatizing her further. Ugh. Wait, so he can just dismiss questions he thinks are too traumatizing? Why don't you prove her reason had a connection to the case before asking about it, yeah?
The prosecution's objection is sustained. The current question is moot, Mr. Justice. Please continue with your cross-examination.
Lamar was attacked because of this testimony. I know she was, so something's gotta be hidden here.
Maybe there's some detail we're missing.
I guess we'll just have to get her to fill in the blanks.
Right.
Alright, I'm away from the stage to the backstage exit. Press the switch now. Huh. I don't have access to the bracelet, so I know that nothing here is a lie. Or at least it's not one that I can gather by perceiving. Huh. This around the switch seems like something, but I can't. But that's not an inconsistency. Dead to loss of blood from a gunshot wound. I think if I check that, it just plays the whole thing. I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. Does that matter? From the stage to the backstage exit. Is it the map of that matters? Huh. I'm not really sure why that would be inconsistent, but... I mostly don't see how going from the stage to the backstage later would actually have her go past the dressing room. Did I save this? I'm gonna save it again. And we're gonna throw some things out. So, alright. This may be nothing, but I'm gonna try presenting the form diagram. Alright, this is not it. Your Honor, that statement... Yeah. So it's not that. Let's see. Press the switch. I'm gonna try to present the remote trigger. It is that! Press the switch! There's only one key that can unlock the mystery of those words. Oh? Yet there was nothing at the scene that could be called a switch, save the lights. True, there wasn't a switch at the scene, but it just so happens I have a switch right here.
That certainly does look like a switch, doesn't it?
The problem is, this was found not at the scene of the crime, but on the stage.
The stage?
Where the concert was held, yes. This was found hidden there, on the stage.
Are you claiming that the voice Lemoir heard was it someone commanding another to press this switch?
It's a possibility. Oh, Herr Forehead, I'd call that an impossibility. Why? It's hardly necessary for me to remind the court of the layout of the concert forum. The stage is quite far from Lemoir's dressing room. Not to mention that the governors were in the middle of a concert on said stage. We aren't known for being a quiet band. We're very loud. You could shout all you wanted and not be heard.
The detective's voice was loud, but certainly not a shout.
So too have Herr Forehead's cries of possibility fallen far short of being heard. Sorry, but he wouldn't have needed to shout. Excuse me? You heard what I said, or do you need me to shout it out for you? It would have been quite simple to be heard on the stage from that dressing room. Oh wait, you like evidence, don't you? How about this? Using this, it would be easy to get a message to someone on stage from the dressing room. Is it the... someone on stage... Oh, the headset. Prosecutor Gavin, perhaps you're familiar with this?
Why, that's... What is it? Is it some kind of newfangled phone they invented while I wasn't looking?
This is a type of transmitter, a communications device.
Communications? Device? What do you mean?
From what I've heard that night, everyone on stage was wearing one of these. Isn't that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Ah, yes, actually, they're for talking between band members. We all had one on. So you admit that if you were wearing one of these, talking from the backstage to the stage would be very simple.
True, but wait,
Those send out an electronic signal. To avoid interference with the audio systems, the range is quite limited.
Lemoir said it was about 30 feet, right?
Look at its cross-section diagram in the concert forum. Ah, exactly. The walk from the stage to backstage seems far, but the direct distance is less than 30 feet. That can't be!
So when Lemoir heard the shooter's voice, he could have been talking to someone on stage.
Ha! You're claiming this is the switch in question? Why did it have to be on the stage this time? It could be placed in a pocket and carried anywhere. Someone could have hid it on the stage after the fact.
Hey, he's got a point. How do we know where it was when she heard the voice? When the shooter said press the switch.
Well, I guess we don't.
An unfortunate situation. I'm afraid that until we know where the switch was, there's little point in debating it.
Ugh. I was sure this was the way to go with this. What is this switch anyway? We don't even know what that basic fact. Yeah, we do. Wait a second. I do know what this switch is. You don't because you're a dumbhead. And if you follow that train of logic to its incredible conclusion, it ends up in proof that completely changes this case.
What's up, Apollo? Apollo, hello?
We know about this switch, right? We know what it is.
Yeah?
Well, think of when it was used that day. Think of what happened.
Well, Mr. Justice, if you have no further information to share concerning the switch...
Your Honor?
Yes, Mr. Justice?
I've been remiss in not telling the court this before. I know what this switch is.
Well, it seems the defense is set upon linking the switch to the case.